Should I start again? All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. This session is part of Softprom Small Talks about big ideas, a new format of informal conversation with industry experts and product leaders at Softprom. We explore current trends, real-life cases, and practical solutions that use software to help companies save time, reduce costs, and do it in time and in budget. This is just one of series of common sessions, so follow the Softprom Europe LinkedIn page to stay updated and stay tuned on future events. We have participants all over the world today. A warm welcome to you. We hope today's discussion will be insightful and valuable for all of you. And a special thank you to our speakers and partners for agreeing to share their experience and insights on how SYNCHRO is used in real-world projects. A few housekeeping notes before we begin. All participants are on mute to ensure good sound and quality. You're welcome to submit your questions during the session via question and answer panel at the end. And please mention in your question to whom your question is, to Daria or Simon. So this section will be recorded and we'll share the recording afterwards via emails you used during the registration. And it will take about 45-60 minutes. So if you have any technical issues, please, we are here to help you. And let's begin. My name is Anton Kaplun. I am Business Development Manager at Softprom company, and we are official Bentley Systems distributors in Central and Eastern Europe. Let me introduce our speaker today. It's Simon Dealtrey, Technical Director at Flo-Mech Ltd. Simon.
Good afternoon, nice to meet you all.
And Daria Kosmala. She is Bentley Infrastructure Cloud and SYNCHRO 4D trainer and mentor.
Happy to be here with you, Anton. Thank you for the invite.
Today, we'll explore how SYNCHRO is being used in the food processing industry, not construction, and what it means for the future of digital project management. So, Simon, the stage is yours. Can you briefly tell us about Flo-Mech and your role there and how it started to implement SYNCHRO there?
Sure. Flo-Mech is an independent, privately owned company in the UK, about 60 people. We cover the entire globe for our customers. Big blue chip companies, PepsiCo, Starbucks, Nestle, Mondelez, anything related with food. And over many years, we've had a long history of managing projects, supplying equipment, turnkey processes all around the world. And we found about 10 years ago with one particular customer, a very, very famous American coffee company, that actually we could apply more technology to a very, very intricate and difficult project, and to be able to explain to the customer how we were going to manage risk, manage time, and communicate how we were going to do the work was a very important thing. And a very, very good friend of mine at the time was working on the Crossrail project in London, the railway project. And I saw a show reel. It had various different technologies, 3D, 2D, and some animation of machine equipment build and construction build. And that's where I did my research and discovered the SYNCHRO product. I had wonderful support from the tech team at the time, and we've used that product ever since now 2015, 2016. We don't use it on every project, but we use it on special ones, high focus, high risk, and especially we find it very useful for communication. So across the world, any language, the visuals and the graphics help us to work on a message and collaborate with our customers and suppliers. Very, very useful product.
So Daria, before this meeting, we have a brief introduction and overview of Simon project. As a Bentley trainer point of view, what was your first impression on his project and on his approach?
The innovation and using the point clouds. It's not so typical thing to use the point clouds and get the models from the point clouds to SYNCHRO. But I really like it. It's actually something which I have also explored. So it was like, oh, someone has done it in practice. So this is what impressed me first. And the second thing that Simon and his team, they bring the 4D model to people. It is not staying somewhere away only for VDC, so visual and construction people. It's not anymore something only for some geeks. It's for everyone to understand, to interact, and he makes this intuitive, very, and I think there is a fun in working with these models, interacting them live. So this is also what I like a lot. I like when we treat our job as kind of fun, and I see a lot of fun in this interactive approach.
Actually, I had the same feeling when Simon talked a bit about his project, and then he said, and we use it for marketing things. And I was like, whoa, this is a real thing, what I never thought about SYNCHRO, because I have this engineering background. And of course, every time when we are talking about Bentley products, I'm thinking about how to implement it on my construction workflow. But I never think about different departments who can also use the same results, but in a bit different way to encourage a customer. So Simon, I can't wait to share a bit about your real project or couple of them. Go on, share your screen. We are happy to hear more details, and we're happy to share it with our guests.
Sure. So let's start with showing how you could take a 3D model of something. We're going to see some machinery, and how the SYNCHRO product can export an animation. And then after that, then we're going to do something that Daria's very interested in, where we're going to see where we've taken digital data from a 3D scan, transformed it into some models that we can use. And then now we're moving more into the world of the digital twin and interacting with existing facilities, because for most of us, the most difficult projects are not where you're building a brand new building or facility or food factory. It's where you've got to go back and modify something that already exists, because there's normally something happening there. They're normally in production, or maybe it's an active building like a train station or an airport. So I think we'll take on take a little view at some examples. I think we'll just go through some and have a look at the different ways that you can display in SYNCHRO, and I think also probably show you how it's evolved over the years. So very, very basic example here. This is simple, graded, shaded models. And here we're just illustrating how we want to move a machine. This happens to be in a coffee project, which we're going to see again later. But what have we got here? 4 objects, simple 3D model, and we've applied some basic animation. No timeline, nothing. This took about 15 minutes to produce this model. Really fast. So it's a simple communication. So then we can say, right, okay, let's make it a little bit more complicated. Let's show a little more detail. This is going back a long time. This is one of the first live projects. This is happens to be a coffee roasting project for Starbucks in Europe. And here we've got, again, 3D models imported. We can see now a schedule we're reviewing at the bottom. Many, many tasks going on, and we're describing on the screen at the top the date, the activity that we're working on. And we've got 4 different views of the machine to kind of understand and explain, perhaps to the customer, perhaps to my mechanical installer. This is what we plan to do each day. This is how we're going to do the work. And the lovely thing with SYNCHRO, of course, is once you've got the video, you can move your way through it, stop at any time on any day, and you can say, I should be doing this on this day. Again, this is a long time ago when the software was earlier version, but we can get a feeling for what's going on. We move to more recent times, and SYNCHRO now has a lot more power in its shading and rendering capability. Here we can see another project. This is a particular project for a famous customer. This is can filling. So this could be everything from soup, chicken curry, stake, multifunction can filling. 300 different products are manufactured on this line. We were one of 5 contractors working. There was a construction company making the building, utility company doing ventilation, another process company making soups and sauces in another room, and that is the pipe we're about to see. And we had to bring all of this information together and say, look, this is how we're going to do our work with all this work going on. This is about 4 weeks, 15 to 20 men working. And now we're using the function of look ahead. So the Gantt chart is rolling forward and checking and looking forward to the next few days. And now we're getting much better color, we're getting better shading, much higher resolution capability, which SYNCHRO has been one of the most amazing pieces of software. It can import virtually any 3D format you can find and render it and ray trace it really quickly. So again, 4 weeks of work, we can condense and we can pretend you can do it in 10 seconds. Well, in the computer you can, can't you? So here we can see day by day, activity by activity. These machines are weighing 10 or 15 tons each. And what we did on this project is each week we would export a current version of the schedule, send it to the customer, give them a governance report to saying this was planned, this is actual, which you can show side by side in SYNCHRO. And we would say to them, you know, at this particular moment, on this particular day, we're on schedule. And then the project team would go and take a couple of photographs out in the factory, compare it with this, customer's happy. We've done our reporting. So very, very nice way of communicating activity and status. Okay. Move to more recent times. We can say we would like to, perhaps, I can take this down to nut and bolt detail. So we've been looking at a whole process. We can see on the SYNCHRO promotional information that Daria and her team, how to construct a railway station, how to construct an airport. This is one individual machine. This machine is about 1 meter tall, 1 meter diameter. So we were talking about marketing, but now this is training. This is how you assemble the machine, interactive model. Use this with a Microsoft HoloLens with the 3D model. I don't need to write instruction manuals. We can train people remotely. We can show them how the individual pieces go together. So you can take SYNCHRO right down to this drawing, individual nut and bolt. So machinery assembly, training, operation. If you want to teach people how a process operates, we can do that as well. We saw the filling line before. This is an individual valve that's filling a thick sauce on a filling machine. There are 76 of these on one machine, and this is the millimeter detail of how a valve works. And it's like a big syringe. We'll see in a moment here. Big syringe sucks the product up into the chamber, closes the chamber, pushing now the product back out into the container. In this case, it's a can, and then a cleaning cycle. So this is a hygienic cleaning system. It does this about 5 times per second in operation, so you can never see it. But here in the computer, we can train operators and technicians how the machine works. Which parts move? Why do they move? What do they do? So again, this is using SYNCHRO in quite a different way than its original idea. Right. So now we're going to come up to a little bit more up to date. I'm going to show you now here. And we're going to stop the video. So here we have a view of a customer facility. He has no drawings of his existing factory, and we want to put in some new process equipment. You can see the circles on the floor where the 3D scanning was made. And we've taken the 3D scan and transformed it from cloud into polygons, into assets. each of the different machines, and including the fork truck, are actually selectable, movable, individual assets. So in SYNCHRO, they become resources. We can move them, we can hide them, we can do maintenance on them. We're using it in this example to say, we need to work around them and we need to know where they are. And now, with nicely ray traced shaded models, we're adding new 3D models to an existing facility, fully textured, fully rendered. And we quite often do an export of just the view, and then we do the view with the Gantt chart, we do the Gantt chart separately, and then we can bring them together in DaVinci or something like that.
Simon,
Yeah.
was that video prepared for your customer or for your team? What was the
Both.
purpose of this video?
Good question. So in this particular example, this scan that you see here in this facility was done in 45 minutes. Like at RTC, simple backpack, tripod, iPad, 45-minute low resolution scan. We came away, made our project design, and made our project quotation, and submitted this schedule with the quotation to say, this is how we plan to do the work, this is how we plan to deliver the work. We will show you that we will make the design work for you at the moment of quotation, at bid. So that's saying we understand what you want. We understand the constraints because you're an operating facility. We want to explain why we think it will take this long to do. But also it says, we know what we're doing. We're organized, you know, we're a good delivery service. Why would you go to another company when we can give you this service at quotation? So there's the marketing element. It's showing your skill, your capability, and historical performance. Everything we've seen today, I can show to customers and say, yeah, I did a project like this, and we delivered one in Cairo, and we've done one of this type. So it gives reassurance because people, customers, they don't want to hear salesmen anymore. They want to see that you can do the work. And use cases is a very strong way to do it. So we can show a little bit more about 3D assets. Here's an example.
Daria, a brief question to you. I see how Simon merged different point clouds and meshes and models in SYNCHRO plus project management. So my question to you as a Bentley trainer, what features of SYNCHRO you see on this he used creatively way, or probably you can recommend something additional to check in his workflow?
So for sure, he's using the interoperability which SYNCHRO has to the maximum. But I think what's most impressive and most important when you work with SYNCHRO, it's your own creativity, because SYNCHRO is very flexible tool, and what can give you the border is just your own imagination. So I like this variety of use cases that you apply. Like, I can see this also among different users because they come from specific industries. I've got the user recently who was doing the simulation for constructing the luxury boat. As I mentioned in our discussions earlier, I had also the users who used SYNCHRO for the simulation of a vessel like entering and leaving the docks in the harbor, and those vessels were serving the other construction as well. So, but here I see this flexibility. So like this micro approach, but like, let's say, in the one company. And this is what I like very much here, seeing that we can work with the small single object till the big construction site. So we are not limited by the scale, and using actually your own innovation in the project. This is it makes so much fun to see this.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, it's all about communication, isn't it? How we want to show an idea or explain something.
Yeah, like having the
it's
good
not
use
possible
case.
to,
Mhm.
as I'm aware, it's not possible to import point clouds into SYNCHRO. Correct me if I'm wrong. So could you please recommend a good Bentley solution for converting point clouds to meshes?
So I can recommend looking at the context capture, which is in the recently, I think it's in the iTwin capture bundle. So this is the software where you can process the acquired data from drones or also like from the laser scans, and you can make the transformations. The SYNCHRO 4D Pro as a software cannot consume point cloud directly. We need to have them converted to some other format first, but I think it saves so much time that instead of remodeling this in some BIM modeling software, which would take actually several weeks to remodel the factory, we can have the scan, and Simon said like it took a really short time to cut out the individual assets. Plus in SYNCHRO, we can associate the additional information to this as the resource. So we also add the metadata to those objects. So they are not just empty CAD objects. They are not dummy geometry. They also contain an information which we can take out of SYNCHRO. We can take it out to Excel. We can take it to the Power BI. We can make use of this information outside of SYNCHRO as well.
Absolutely. And also your point there, Daria, once we have these assets as resources, we're going to see an example here. I mean, the history of SYNCHRO, green is normally new things arriving, and orange is normally you're doing a modification or a movement. So here we are, another guy who's making potato chips. And what we're doing here, we're bringing new equipment, but now look, 3D scan derived assets being removed, taking away new pieces, and now yellow we're modifying. So as long as we get scan data converted into a good format, classified or broken into the pieces that we like, SYNCHRO can subdivide, but it's better to do it before an import. Then we can modify existing things. Here, look, we're moving existing pieces of machine around. Some of them, we've got to see if we've been smart and we can actually get them out with the new pieces in place. Here we go. We're trying to show that old machines can be taken away and they won't be a problem. So very powerful tool. It's all about how you set it up, how you derive your scan data. There are many different ways to approach it, but I think setting SYNCHRO up with the correct format of your project, your calendar, having your models ready from whoever's giving to them, your CAD team. Once you have that, you can make anything. You can create and modify and shape, illustrate. It produces amazing quality ray traced renders. We can, there's a good example here, I think. Yeah, if you want to, have a really nice presentation to a customer, you can render out with shadows, textures. I mean, before you would need some really very special software to do this. From 3D, you'd need a 3D specialist. Now, you can do it from your scheduling software. And a very, very good way of communicating.
I can't even imagine this wow effect of what customer gets when you do your presentation.
Yeah.
And it looks like it can really help to get project and to be different with your competitors.
Yes, and I think to show you're interested in their project, it's also, I find very useful now, is if we give them some of these examples, or for example, I showed you the assembly where we supplied it with the quotation with the bid. The project manager or the project director, he's going back up to his management chain. Yeah, I got the 3 quotations. But this one, look, I got some extra stuff to show you. They've given extra information, and it's nice to watch, isn't it? I don't normally make PowerPoint anymore. I make show reel video storyboard from the beginning of a project to an end. So surveying, digital modeling, scanning, showing models in scans, visualization. So SYNCHRO, very, very good to show models shaded beautifully. Microsoft HoloLens with full-size 3D models in customer facility, which you can record and see, and the customer can move the machine. And then number 4, the scheduling. And then we show these really, really powerful examples of how SYNCHRO can say, I understand the project, I understand the risk, I've done these things to manage the risk at the beginning. And then, of course, that SYNCHRO project will evolve and change and adapt as we go through the life cycle of the job. Customer changes some dates. There's a new stop on the work because of some construction that's happening, and we have to modify. Very easy to make the change, republish, send again. And it will give you out standard XML. You can take it into Primavera or Microsoft Project and produce your standard Gantt chart as your regular day-to-day project work. And then at the end, very, very nice to say, this is how we plan to do the work. And if you're very lucky and you work with your customer, you can make a video to say at the end of the project, this is how we delivered it. And then I take that whole storyboard of 7 or 8 minutes of video, and I go back to the next project. Same customer. Hey, this is how we did it. Can we do another? And we do it for each of our customers, obviously with privacy and confidentiality. There's some information we cannot share. But when we can, it generates a lot of interest. These things. Near the end, I think we'll show the simulation in the computer, and then reality. We maybe do that at the end if you like. So for me, we have 12 or 13 project managers here, travel around the world, life cycle delivery. So from the beginning of the project to completion, handover, training, everything, anywhere in the world. And about 5 or 6 of them are regular SYNCHRO users. So we use it as and when we need. If we need to show a difficult problem solved, then SYNCHRO comes along. But again, marketing, communication, collaboration, and coordination, those 3 C's, this is a fundamental tool for me to demonstrate and deliver that.
Actually, I was happy to see some project samples of your company is doing on LinkedIn, because some of my friends, they do 3D scanning, they have some thoughts how it can be possibly implemented to do not model equipment on industrial lines, on production lines, but to just move them to mesh and somehow to implement on project management. But in your team, you already implemented more than 10 years ago. So kudos to your team and your management guys. I have next question to Daria. Bentley positioned itself as an infrastructure leader, as a leader in IC industry. What is the attitude of Bentley team to non-construction projects like Simon, and do you provide the same level of support? Are you interested in such kind of projects?
So we at Bentley, we support engineering in the wide term. We are not limiting ourselves to construction. Mainly, like most of the Bentley projects, they are also for designing phase. But we know that when we are constructing something, and this is also constructing something, that the renovation, the replacement, refurbishment, these are construction works actually. There is the design going parallel with planning and with execution of work. So it's like entire project lifecycle. Once we have an asset, you will have to come back to the same clients, and they will be doing the changes very soon. So we support entire lifecycle, and SYNCHRO, we also want to position this that it's not just for construction phase, it's also for the planning phase to explore different options with the client and have the good tool for the discussion and finding the optimal approach. So not using when the project has already is already designed. We recommend to start this work in the planning phase, so that we, from the very beginning, have the platform to collaborate and to discuss, exchange ideas, because it creates a completely different approach in the project, very much innovative. I recently worked with one of the users who is dealing with the heavy industry. It's like the plant, like some processing plant, and they have started from the simple simulation, like something like Simon has showed their projects 10 years ago. They have the model and they make the simulation, but then he was working more and more, and he found out that he can take it out to the gaming engine. He has taken the SYNCHRO model to Unreal Engine, and they have built the game. They have also added the point clouds data, and they have built the game for the plant workers to train on safety, let's say, safety training for this period when they are exchanging some part of this plant. So that wasn't initially in their scope of work, but they found, when they were working, they found that they can do it, and they loved it a lot, because it was if you have to shut down the plant, or you have to operate it during some maintenance work, it's critical, the safety issues. So they could, it has created some innovative ambient in the project, so that the client gets actually more than they expected, but it builds this mutual trust, and the client will come back to them once they have similar works to do, because they gave them something very exceptional. So this is this open-minded approach that SYNCHRO is such a great trigger.
Thank you so much. I have a question for both of you. So everything started from 2D, then we switched to 3D to have models, then we switched to 4D, we added time, okay, we have a project management, 5D, we added some money or some other things. I know guys who are talking about 10D, some crazy things. So my question to you is, what's your vision for the future of 4D planning, and do we really need these more D rather than 4D, 5D maximum?
Ladies first.
I think like this 4D, 6D, 7D, it's just something that we can leave for academics. So leave them for discussions. The practicum, the practice, this is what verifies. Simpler is better. So I think the future will be that what will be the usable. So whatever will bring the value to the project, this will be adopted. And also, so regardless what D it is called, like this visual engineering and engineering based on the data and looking for innovation. Yeah, but I don't stick to any D's. It's all about engineering.
Yeah. Okay. I think there's something that we're using live now that could work well. Some time ago, SYNCHRO had an integration for HoloLens, and it kind of got retired. We use HoloLens a lot for first principles, first inquiry. We have a catalog of models. We're normally prepared. Go to a customer, he's interested in a project. We can load the model, put it straight into his factory. Does it fit? Where do you want to put it? And if you think about what we've seen today, we can say, I'm going to talk about 3D scanning in a moment, come back to that for the guys who do scanning. But if I've got a digital factory, let's just stop this video straight at the beginning. If I've got this factory from a scan, I can have a 3D scan photographic quality, and I can put a 3D model inside it, in the photo, and let the customer move it around himself, web host or local. Perfect. We can turn the scan into assets for SYNCHRO and then build our project. Yeah? We're going to use SYNCHRO to define how we're going to do the construction. I can take the customer into the factory with a fully developed 3D model, as we see on the screen, in the HoloLens, and put it inside the factory to say, this is what is coming. Are you happy? Yeah. Well, there's one piece missing. What happens if we were to stand in the factory with our headset? It could be Meta, it could be Apple Vision Pro, HoloLens, and we could run the assembly, see the machines coming into the building, see where they're going to be located and the sequence in person in the factory. I still think that's a piece that could come back and be an integration, because SYNCHRO is very good. These models are not heavy geometry. The 3D models, the new ones, are not heavy because the HoloLens can already display them with a product we've already talked about, Anton, offline, with Peter. So why can't we ask SYNCHRO to help us to take the customer into his location, stand there and see the assembly build in front of him? That would be a really good thing to add. It's still, for me, 4D, but it's all about the communication and the coordination. We have all spent our time and money investing in the software, the modeling, the 3D scanning. So let's get some more value from it, would be a good idea. You know? And for the guys who do 3D scanning work, I have a lot of customers ask me, Simon, how much is it for your guys to come and scan our factory? Because we do it ourselves. We have our own hardware. It's this much. And they think they get Google Photos. Well, yeah, that's kind of 10% of the value. What we want to use is use it for engineering and construction management. So we're using the assets here as part of SYNCHRO. We're using it as part of the plan build. We're going to use it for construction training, operator training, as built information. So I think if you're into 3D scanning and you take the time and effort to be able to turn your scan into polygons and exportable assets and then into SYNCHRO, you're really showing the value of why a customer should pay for a scan, because you're doing life cycle work with it. And that's where the cloud is more important than the pictures. We can extract pipework structures, make models from them, digitize them as you see here. Floor flatness and things, yes, we do that. But for me, the power comes with the scan into SYNCHRO, SYNCHRO into visualization. Now, if I can do that on a hologram and animate it, you know, that would be so cool. And I think that would be really nice to see if that's possible again. Okay.
Thank you so much, Simon. As a wrap up, I don't want to make it as a conclusion, but I also would like to finish as a question. So previously, again, speaking about the evolution of these 2D, 3D, and D, previously 3D modeling was something totally new. And then it started to be mandatory to use BIM technology on a public project in several Europe countries, in UK. So my question is, do you think that in the future, some tools like SYNCHRO can become a mandatory and a new standard in manufacturing, energy, logistics, and so on and so on? Daria, please go on first.
That already happens. Like for data centers, it's mandatory. I can't show any of these projects. These users, they do not show those projects in public, but they're the data centers projects, they all go with SYNCHRO, like with the 4D simulation. They are very complex. These are the projects which have to be delivered on time. They are huge. So the SYNCHRO is crucial to understand the progress, to understand what is the correct work sequence. So it already happened for some industries. So I think we will see more and more educated clients. If that would be mandatory for public clients, I think that will require also this time, like it was with the BIM, that the public client, it needs some time to be familiar with the technology. They wait till the industry in particular country is mature enough to use this technology, because you need time to learn it. The same is with the BIM modeling. But there are so many benefits from this that I believe that it will become a standard. Simon, you?
Yeah, I would say to a lot of people, why would you not use it when it's such a good tool for communicating? You know, you just have to have a license, have some training. Do you remember the really basic video we saw right at the beginning? Do you recognize the frame?
Yeah.
There it is. So from a really simple synchro animation to delivering a delicate piece of machinery. For me, it's like, it's actually easier to develop a Gantt chart schedule in Synchro and faster than it is in the other apps. And because you can see your assets and you see the build, it's like playing a game, isn't it? Oh, I did it wrong, change the sequence. You'll make a schedule so much quicker by using the Synchro platform. And then at the end, you have something to show your team and your customer. So why would you not use it? You know, it's such a clever product. It's unique in engineering.
Yeah, this model-based planning, that's the unique.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do Navisworks and do timelining. Terrible, because it's not adaptable. They're not linked. You can't do the interaction. Synchro just does one thing and it does it so well. That's why it has a patent, you know? Yeah.
I also have a couple questions from our participants and guests. So
Yeah.
question is from Poland. I suppose it's question to Daria, who was supporting us from Poland. We just started to explore 4D planning. How well developed is the learning curve for teams who are completely new to Synchro?
I can recommend on Bentley Learn portal, there is a brand new course, Synchro Fundamentals. We have released this at the beginning of this year, and there is the initial module, which is designed specifically for completely new users who have even no idea about construction planning. So I think, like, with this, it's quite easy to start. There are the models for training. Plus, if someone has the practitioner license, I'm the trainer who is also supporting the users through the question and answer sessions. So it's not like that there are only online courses, that there is us who help to learn in the beginning. So yeah, just go and try.
Yeah, the YouTube channel still has some very valid fundamentals, setting up your project, how to do importation, how to link. I mean, once you get with that, that's a really good start, isn't it? And the help files are pretty good too. But yeah, your online portal is a really nice, good way to start. And you can get a trial, can't you? 15-day trial, have a go, try it.
Yeah, I would say that if you just have time, just take and play with it, treat it that you play. You can even import the Lego model. This is what people also like to do, and you can, like, if you have your dreamed Lego model, you can find the Lego model and just create the sequence out of the Lego model, build the schedule from this, and you will have fun, and you can do this with your kids.
Yeah, and one thing to remember, we mentioned the old world 2D. You can schedule and sequence a 2D drawing. It's not limited to 3D.
Yeah, yeah, you can take the 2D drawings.
And even if somebody wanted to do a very basic stuff, you can draw shapes, can't you? You can draw a floor, a cube, a cylinder, just some simple shapes, and make them move and bring them together. So yeah, the trick is to get started, isn't it? To do some basics.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Next question is from Switzerland, from Lina. Could you please let me know if there are any plans to release a plugin for iTwin? I would be able to direct export from plugin into SYNCHRO 4D. She is a geotechnical engineer, and this integration would be highly valuable for her.
So for iTwin, like right now, we can import SYNCHRO I models from iTwin. So we don't need any separate plugin. If you have the SYNCHRO subscription, you have access to Bentley Infrastructure Cloud. And on Infrastructure Cloud, you can create an I model using the iTwin connectors. And this, so there you can have your geometrical, like your model of your metadata directly from native files. And this you can open in SYNCHRO 4D Pro, build the 4D sequence. And additionally to this I model, you can have point clouds and 3D meshes linked as well, assuming if it's geo-coordinated. Just the limitation technical for 4D Pro is that it will be not visible in the 4D Pro. It will be visible when you review the I model with the 4D sequence on the portal. So the effect will be similar, let's say, what Simon has, like that we can have the entire context, but to make the simulation, we would need to do the process for converting these meshes.
Yeah, for that you
so-
made it some simple mesh just to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
the
Mhm.
space.
So like 4D Pro has so simulation like limitations, but we can take the iTwin model to 4D Pro and make the 4D simulation out of it.
Yeah.
So
It also
no need
has-
to any plugin. It's a direct integration. You need the project, yeah, and the permissions. You need to be like have the access to this I model.
That's right. And you can also synchronize models in and out of SYNCHRO dynamically, can't you? So you've done a model update, you can import it back in.
Yeah. Mhm.
We have also a question from viewers on LinkedIn. How important is Softprom support when implementing a solution like SYNCHRO in non-traditional industry? Looks like it's a question to me. So we help bridge the gap between Bentley, between customers through some technical support, through offering localized training and mentoring, like with Daria, who is in Poland and can help you right there. We help you to build pilot projects and test ideas, what you have. Like Simon, he has an idea to implement it on a totally different industry, and lucky that he has experts and some cool guys in his team, but we always help to be that glue to connect everything to one solid rock team. So yeah, this is why Softprom is looking so talented guys like Daria and Simon to know everything from the cutting edge of all industries and to know how SYNCHRO can help with all of that things. Thank you so much, guys, for this webinar. Let me just at the end a bit talk about Softprom, because as you can see, the last question was a good bridge for me to continue to speak about our role. So actually, we help maximize benefits of Bentley solution. We have a proven track record of project implementation, helping numerous clients around all the world to keep their projects in time, within budget. We have extensive expertise in Bentley Systems, and our team well equipped to assist you in implementing and utilizing all these powerful tools. Actually, right now, it's a ongoing Bentley Sales Week. Daria can prove it. So we have a 20% discount for all Bentley new licenses and additional licenses through Virtuosity e-store. So yeah, please reach me out through email, LinkedIn, phone number, whatever, and we'll be happy to share with you this promo code to support you during the implementation, trial licenses, and this discount thing during this sales week. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for all these things you bring here. I was actually shocked how SYNCHRO can be used in totally different ways, in totally different industries. And special thank you to Simon for all these amazing videos, because one thing when you see it on software, totally other thing when at the end you show a real video that totally copies that workflow you built in a SYNCHRO, and we see that it's not a toy with all of that fancy models and scans and so on, but it's a real tool what brings customer to the final point and what brings actually a final decision to get the project with all of that. Thank you so much, guys, for helping me during this webinar.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.